Welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at how to get infinite gold, and not like all the other ones where we duplicate items. It's a direct you get gold and duplicate it without using any weight issues or anything like that. But there are a couple of prerequisites, and one of them is to join the Dark Brotherhood. To do this, you need to kill a human NPC, sleep at night, get approached by the person, Lucius Lachanti or whatever his name is. He will then give you a contract for you to kill someone with a sword, and then you'll get to join them. You'll end up here. There is a video on my channel on how to join all the guilds, so if you want a more in-depth look at the actual way to do it, it will be on the channel. So you want to end up in Chadin Hall after you've done all the quests and what's requested of you, and you'll end up at this boarded up abandoned house. This is the Brotherhood quarters. So you basically unlock this door, go down into the basement, go and talk to them. When you're running through this entire area, there's a lot of NPCs to talk to. Talk to them if you wish, if it's your first time there. They've got some good stories, you know, it's worth having a listen. But you want to find Mirage Dar, who's a shop essentially at this place. You'll notice that they're basically a tiger. So you talk to them and you go and buy one poisoned apple. Now, poisoned apples are weightless, which means you can have as many as you want. Then we're going to take that apple and we're going to duplicate it thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of times. And then we're going to use that to transfer it and make it into gold. So the next thing we need is some kind of stackable object. I use these steel arrows. I have 177 of them. That means every time I duplicate the poisoned apple, it will be 177 times. But we need a bigger stack of items to be able to get ourselves to the point where we don't have to keep duplicating 177. We can duplicate a lot more. So I came to the Fighting Chance shop in the Imperial City Market District to buy some arrows. Now the arrows, you know, you're gonna have to spend money to make money, unfortunately, but they usually sell 100 of them, which means as long as you keep buying from here, it's going to cost you 400 gold. You will be able to just straight up use them. Even if you just buy 100 and use the 100 to duplicate, you're going to make that money back in no time. So now I should have 277. Now we need a chest to be able to duplicate the apples. Now this can literally be done anywhere with any kind of crate, anything that you can put items into. So I'm just going to use this barrel here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to search it. I'm going to cross over onto my inventory. I'm going to go and find that poisoned apple here. You can see it's weightless. It's 300. You can actually sell these if you wanted to. We're going to place that into the barrel, as you can see over there. I'm actually just going to save it just in case anything goes wrong, but it shouldn't. Right, so you can see my poisoned apple over there. We're going to head over to my inventory and highlight the steel arrows. Now what we're going to do is we're going to store it with the poisoned apples while also pressing RB to switch to the barrel's inventory at the same time. So that's RB and A. If done right, you'll see that on the right hand side now the barrel is the inventory that is listed, and it'll say LB at the top, meaning to go back to my inventory. So currently I'm in the barrel's inventory while also trying to store the arrows. Once this pops up saying how many, you just basically want to tap A a few times, take the apple out, and then it should duplicate to 277 apples. Now all we're going to do is put one more in there, and we're going to do the same thing again. So we're just going to do that, and then we're going to take it out. Now I should have even more apples than I would ever need. 553 poisoned apples, but we're going to need to keep duplicating this so that that number is in the thousands, hundreds of thousands. Now if you want to make placing the apples a little bit faster, I was just showing you one there for the sake of showing it. Instead of scrolling through all of these to get to one, you just want to place them all in the barrel, then go over to the barrel and take one less, so 552. Now we have one poisoned apple over there. We're going to go jump over here. Obviously the bigger stack of arrows or anything that you have, the more apples you can make, but this shouldn't take you too long at all to do. Right, once you've got roughly about 1,000 apples, you can now speed up the process. So instead of putting the poison apple in, we're going to take the arrows and put them in instead, or put one of the arrows in. So if I take one steel arrow, but I'm going to do it with the iron arrows just to show you what I mean. So we're going to place them in, and we're going to take out one, or leave one I should say. Now I'm going to use the apples instead to duplicate the arrows, if that makes sense. So we're going to do it in reverse. So I have 999 plus poisoned apples. So if I do the same trick where I do RB and A together, we just double tap and then we can go back into my inventory, and you can see now that I have over 1,000 iron arrows. So now we are up in terms of that. So again, we're going to put the apples in like so, because we don't want too many arrows right now because of being over encumbered. We go over here, we can see we've got all of those. We're going to leave one in there, take the rest, but now I have more arrows to duplicate the actual poisoned apples with. So again, we do that and then we take it, we go back over, and now we have 2,485 of the apples. So I'm going to do this with the apples until I get to about 5,000, and then I'm going to reverse it again and make the arrows be 5,000, so that every time I then go and do more apples, the stack that I'm using gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So just in the last like 5 minutes of doing this, where basically I duplicate the poison apple a few times over, and then I use the poison apple to make the steel arrows a larger stack, you can see that I now have 38,641 steel arrows, and I also have at the moment 30,000 poison apples. So I'm going to keep going until I can get to like 100,000 apples, which will probably take me another 15 minutes. And it's just basically going backwards and forwards, duplicating the apples, using the apples to duplicate the arrows, and so on and so forth. So it doesn't take that long. This should be another like 30,000 just in this one here. So we go over here, we go boom. Don't know whether I took that quick enough. So let's go over here now. And we have 69,277 poisoned apples. So if I now go over here and put one arrow in, or leave one arrow in I should say, I'm going to go from having 30,000 steel arrows to way more. At this point now it's just one after one. So I duplicate the apples, use the apples to duplicate the arrows, use the arrows to then duplicate the apples. You could probably get up to millions, and because the apples are weightless, you never have to worry about how much you can have. Obviously I'm gonna have to throw away the arrows after because they're gonna over encumber me, but we can do this now. Boom. I didn't take them quick enough, I don't think. Let's have a look. 107,000 arrows. So let's do apples one more time. So we go over here, we go to there, we take, well, we just leave one. I keep saying take one when I'm meaning to say leave one. We go over here, we go to the arrows. Boom. It's starting to lag now because of how much stuff's in my inventory, which is funny as hell. So now I have 177,000 apples, and essentially whatever number of apples I have, I can trade for gold. I can duplicate a single gold to 177,000 apples, which I'll show you also. I'm going to do a bit more in terms of duplicating this, and then we'll see the money side of it. So now I'm going to dump my 1,071 arrows, because you can see my weight up there is a little bit over the 500 limit that I can have. I'm going to have enough money soon where I can buy as many arrows as I want, when I want. What I should do though is probably take at least a couple with me in case I need to duplicate it. I did that the wrong way around. I need to then... Actually, it's going to take way too long to do that. They're going in there and they're staying in there. I'll find some more. Now, when it comes to the apples, you'll see that I have quite a few of them. 1.7 million to be precise. Now all I need to do is duplicate gold to make 1.7 million gold in an instant. Right, so next we are going to head to the Imperial City Arena. This has a chest available for you to lockpick and steal from. And to be honest, I've never been caught stealing from it for some reason, even though there's people around. I usually just kind of tuck myself down here, get into a little bit corner, and then lockpick it from here. Now my lockpicking is pretty high, but I do have a video on my channel on how to do a lockpick cheese, so that no matter what the difficulty of the lockboxes, chests, doors, whatever, you can open without even singularly breaking any lockpick whatsoever. It is so ridiculously easy and good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this myself. My security is pretty high now, so... Oh my god, I can't believe I just broke the lockpick. That's actually hilarious. So typically the game's a little bit easier for me now because the security's higher. Boom, boom, boom. Open the chest and you're going to see that there's 500 gold. So we're going to search it And because gold is the only thing that's in there, we're going to do the same kind of duplication glitch. So I'm going to go over to my inventory. I'm going to go to that poisoned apple. And at the top, you can see I have a 105,156 gold. I'm now going to do the same glitch where I press RB and A together. Boom. 1.7 million. Now I'm going to tap A multiple times. And you can see at the top now, my gold is 1.8 million, which is absolute insanity. I now have 1.8 million gold. And I'm just going to run away because it doesn't matter. I'm rich now. Nobody can stop me. Right. So now that we've got the arena lockbox done, I don't know whether this actually refills with money. I don't know. It might have to wait and see what happens in the game. But you can also do this by pickpocketing people. However, you get caught very often. As you can see, I have 3.6 million because there's a person up in this arena here that sits there watching the fights, and you can get into the fights by betting on a team. I'm not going to do that right now. But you get access to the arena up here, which you can't do otherwise. And there are people sitting up there with gold in their pocket. You can do this through pickpocketing, but it is very, very difficult. If you get caught or whatever or seen, the guards usually chase after you, but right now you need to go and talk to one. So if you want to just pay off your bounty, you can. You know, I'm just going to pay the gold, which is 50 gold. He's going to take me somewhere, take all my stolen items off me, which I haven't got any of. I'll pay the 50 gold, but I'll still keep the 3.6 million. So that's just a way to get them off your back, and you don't have to worry or deal with them ever again.
Yeah, can I interest you in some of my wares? Farewell, and tell your friends, the inn at Ill Omen, by the non-divines.
Assault! Assault! Help! Stop right there, criminal scum. Then pay with your...
Someone's been murdered!
Right, so I just killed them because I wanted to show you that you can get gold off dead bodies that you kill. So we're going to search this guy, and he's got gold. So we're going to take everything else off him other than the gold. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to do the same old trick where we put the poisoned apples over with the R, B, and A. Boom. And then we're going to take it, and we get 5 million gold up there at the top. I'm over encumbered. What did I take off him? That gave me so much over encumberness. Same with these guys. We'll just take all these off. I'm gonna have to throw a lot of these out, and then we're gonna go search. We're gonna go here. We're gonna find the poisoned apples wherever they've gone. Let's have a look. Boom. We do R, B, and A, and then we take the gold. Oh, that one didn't work. That was weird. Let me try with this woman over here. Definitely work with the merchant. Maybe it's because I'm over encumbered. Right, Minerva, let's take your apples off you, and let's take these clothes off you and try it with you. But it definitely worked with the merchant, because now I've got 5 million. We're going to go over here. We're going to get the poisoned apples, R, B, and A, and then spam it, and boom, 7 million gold. Unfortunately, I want these NPCs to be alive, so I'm going to load last save and get them back to life. But that can be done with any dead body, or the contracts that you get from any of the Dark Brotherhood. Anyone that you kill or have to kill, good or bad, if they have gold on them, you can do this too. For some reason didn't work with that guy. It might be because I was over encumbered. I can't test that. But yeah, that's the video. Thank you for watching. I've been easy now. You guys have been awesome.